the depths of ancient wisdom lies a path that bridges heaven and earth, a mystical tradition that reveals the hidden nature of reality itself. This is Kabbalah, not merely a philosophy, but a living pathway to divine consciousness. Ancient wisdom whispers to us across millennia, speaking of mysteries that lie at the heart of existence. Kabbalah emerges from the mists of time not as mere doctrine, but as a living transmission of divine truth. It teaches us that the universe is not what it appears to be. It is infinitely more vast, more mysterious, and more meaningful than our ordinary perception reveals. Before creation, there was only Ein Sof, the infinite, boundless and unknowable. From this infinite light came the first contraction, the Tzimtzum, creating space for our universe to exist. This divine act of withdrawal teaches us our first profound lesson. Sometimes we must step back to allow something new to emerge. The purpose of creation, we learn, is profoundly simple yet endlessly complex. The infinite desire to be known. Like an artist whose vision must be expressed, the divine set in motion a grand cosmic dance of revelation and concealment. We, humanity, are the witnesses and participants in this cosmic unfolding. Human consciousness is not incidental to this process. It is essential. We are the eyes through which the divine perceives itself, the instruments through which the infinite experiences its own finite expression. Our spiritual growth is not separate from the purpose of creation, it is integral to it. As we begin to grasp these profound truths, we must understand that reality is not one-dimensional. It exists in four distinct yet interconnected realms, each a reflection of divine light at different levels of manifestation. These are the four worlds of creation, each containing within it the complete pattern of the tree of life. Atzilut, the highest world, is pure divinity, where everything exists in perfect unity. Here, there is no separation between creator and creation. It is the realm of pure being, beyond all form and limitation. Bariah is the world of creation proper, where the first distinction between creator and created begins. Here, the highest spiritual beings come into existence, and pure divine thought takes on the first hints of form. Yetzirah is the world of formation, where patterns and forms begin to take shape. This is the angelic realm, where divine energy begins to organize itself into distinct patterns that will eventually manifest in our physical world. Finally, we reach Asaya, our physical world, where divine light takes on material form. Yet even here, in the realm of apparent separation, the divine light continues to sustain and animate all existence. Consider for a moment, we exist simultaneously in all these worlds. Our physical body in Asaya, our emotions in Yetzirah, our intellect in Bariah, and our highest spiritual essence in Atzilut. We are not just physical beings having a spiritual experience, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Within the sacred geometry of existence stands the tree of life, a living symbol of the cosmos and the soul. This divine pattern reveals not just the structure of creation, but the very nature of consciousness itself. Each branch, each path, each sacred sphere tells a story of our journey from infinite light to finite form. At the crown of the tree sits Keter, the point where existence touches non-existence. Here, in this highest sphere, we encounter the first stirring of divine will. A whisper before sound, a thought before thinking. From this ineffable point flows all possibility, all potential, all that was, is, or ever will be. Below Keter, like two eyes gazing into eternity, we find Chokmah and Binah, wisdom and understanding. Chokmah holds the seed of all things, the flash of insight that contains within it all wisdom. Binah takes this flash and gives it form, like a womb giving shape to pure potential. Together they form the supernal triangle, the highest realm accessible to human consciousness. The great abyss separates these upper realms from what lies below. This is Da'at, hidden knowledge, the invisible sephira that both connects and separates. It represents the threshold between the infinite and the finite, between divine consciousness and human awareness. Below this abyss unfolds the ethical triangle of Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferet. Here we encounter the cosmic dance of giving and receiving, expansion and contraction. Chesed flows outward with unlimited love and kindness. Gevurah provides the necessary boundaries and judgment. In their perfect balance we find Tifereh, beauty, harmony, and truth. Lower still we discover Netzach and Hod, victory and splendor. These are the spheres of prophecy and ritual, of natural force and conscious form. Netzach pulses with the rhythm of life itself, while Hod reflects and orders this vital force into patterns of meaning and purpose. At their meeting point lies Yesod, the foundation, gathering all the forces above and channeling them toward manifestation. This is the realm of the vital soul, of dreams and imagination, of the collective unconscious that shapes our reality. Finally, we reach Malkut, the kingdom, where all the higher forces take physical form. This is our world of action, where divine light becomes matter, where spiritual potential becomes actual. Yet even here, in the realm of apparent separation, the entire tree is present, waiting to be discovered. The paths connecting these spheres are not mere lines on a diagram. They are living channels of divine energy, each with its own wisdom, its own challenge, its own transformation. 22 paths, corresponding to the Hebrew letters, weave these 10 spheres into a unified whole, creating a map of consciousness that leads from the finite to the infinite. To walk the tree is to embark on the greatest of all journeys, the return to our divine source. Each step up the tree is a step inward, each realization a remembering of what we have always known but forgotten. This is the path of return, the way of the mystic, the journey of the soul. In the depths of Kabbalistic wisdom lies a profound understanding that creation itself is sustained by divine speech. The Hebrew letters are not mere symbols, but living forces, the very building blocks of reality. And woven from these letters are the names of God, each a key unlocking different aspects of divine consciousness. The most sacred of these names is the Tetragrammaton, the four-letter name that cannot be pronounced. Within these four letters, Yod, He, Vav, He, lies the pattern of all creation, the rhythm of divine breathing that sustains existence moment by moment. Each letter represents a world, a level of consciousness, a stage in the unfolding of reality. Beyond this primary name lie the 72 names, each composed of 3 letters, each a unique combination of divine force. These names are not meant merely to be read or studied, but to be experienced, to be embodied. Each one is a key to a specific aspect of consciousness, a particular quality of divine light. When we work with these names, we are not merely reciting ancient formulae. We are aligning ourselves with the very forces that shape reality. Each letter is a vessel for light, each combination a unique frequency of divine energy. As we meditate on these names, we attune our consciousness to these higher frequencies. The practice begins with the understanding that each Hebrew letter is a gateway. Aleph, the first letter, represents the breath of God, the primary movement from nothingness to something. Bet, the second letter, creates the first boundary, the distinction between above and below. Each letter that follows adds another layer to the cosmic story. In traditional practice, these letters are not just seen, but experienced in the body. The shape of each letter becomes a vessel in consciousness. The sound of each letter resonates in our being. When combined in divine names, they create patterns of energy that can transform consciousness itself. Consider the name El, Aleph Lamed. These 2 letters together express divine power and direction. Aleph, the infinite, channels through Lamed, the tower reaching from heaven to earth. In meditation, this name becomes a bridge between realms, a channel for divine force. Yet this knowledge carries great responsibility. These names are not tools for personal power, but keys to service. They are given not to elevate the ego, but to transcend it. Each name is an invitation to become a clearer channel for divine light in the world. The practice of divine names requires preparation. The heart must be pure, the intention clear. We approach these names not with demand, but with reverence, not seeking to grasp, but to receive. In their presence, we become aware of our role as vessels for something far greater than ourselves. Through sustained practice with these names, we begin to perceive reality differently. The apparent solidity of the physical world becomes more transparent, revealing the divine light that animates all things. We see that every aspect of creation is sustained by these divine utterances, these combinations of sacred letters. In the depths of Kabbalistic practice lies a truth both simple and profound. Knowledge alone is not enough. True understanding comes through direct experience, through practices that transform the very nature of our consciousness. These are not mere techniques, but pathways to divine communion. Hitbodedut, sacred solitude, forms the foundation of all mystical practice. In the quiet hours before dawn, when the veils between worlds are thinnest, we seek the divine presence. This is not prayer in the conventional sense, but intimate conversation with the infinite. Here, in the space between sleeping and waking, we learn to listen to the still small voice within. The practice of letter meditation opens doorways in consciousness. Each Hebrew letter becomes a living force, a shape of energy in our awareness. We begin with Aleph, visualizing its form, feeling its essence, allowing it to reshape our consciousness. Through sustained practice, these letters become living bridges between worlds. Breathing becomes a sacred art. Each inhalation draws divine light into our being. Each exhalation releases what separates us from our source. We learn to breathe with the rhythm of creation itself, the eternal pulse of divine contraction and expansion, Tzimtzum and Hitpashtut. In the practice of Yichudim, unification meditations, we work to heal the apparent separations in creation. Through specific combinations of divine names and focused intention, we align different levels of reality. This is not merely an internal process. Each unification affects all worlds, contributing to the cosmic restoration. The study of sacred texts becomes a form of meditation. Each word contains infinite depths, each verse a doorway to higher consciousness. We learn to read not just with the mind, but with the soul, allowing the words to illuminate hidden chambers within our being. Movement and gesture take on sacred significance. The body becomes a vessel for divine expression, each gesture a letter in the cosmic alphabet. Through specific movements and hand positions, we create vessels for divine light in the physical world. Sound and silence become our teachers. The chanting of sacred phrases creates vibrations that reshape consciousness. Yet equally important is the silence between the sounds, the space where deeper truths reveal themselves. We learn to listen not just with our ears, but with our entire being. Contemplation of the tree of life becomes a daily practice. We learn to ascend and descend its paths consciously, each journey revealing new aspects of reality. Through sustained practice, the tree becomes not just a diagram, but a living reality within our consciousness. The practice of presence transforms every moment into an opportunity for awakening. Eating becomes a sacred act, sleep a journey between worlds, conversation an opportunity for divine service. We learn to see the divine light shining through every aspect of creation. Yet all these practices serve a single purpose: to thin the veils between finite and infinite, to restore our awareness of the divine unity that underlies all existence. This is not about acquiring spiritual experiences, but about remembering our true nature. In the depths of Kabbalistic understanding lies a profound teaching about the nature of the soul. We are not simply physical beings seeking spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings navigating the complexities of physical existence. Our soul's journey is both a descent into form and an ascent back to source. The soul exists in 5 levels, each representing a different depth of connection with the divine. Nefesh, the lowest level, connects us to the physical world and our basic life force. It is through Nefesh that we experience our body, our instincts, our connection to the natural world. Yet this is merely the surface of our being. Ruach, the next level, encompasses our emotional and moral nature. Here we experience love and fear, joy and sorrow, the full spectrum of human feeling. Through Ruach, we develop our character, make ethical choices, and relate to others. This is the realm of heart consciousness, where we learn to transform our basic nature. Neshama, the higher soul, connects us to divine intelligence. Through this level, we can grasp spiritual truths, perceive the unity underlying diversity, and understand our purpose in creation. Neshama is our link to prophetic consciousness, our capacity to receive wisdom from above. Chaya represents the life force itself, our connection to the divine vitality that animates all creation. At this level, we transcend individual existence and begin to experience our essential unity with all being. Here, the boundaries between self and other begin to dissolve. Yechida, the highest level, is our point of absolute unity with the divine. This is our eternal essence, the part of us that was never separated from its source. While we rarely experience this level directly, its presence ensures our ultimate return to divine unity. Our journey through life involves the progressive awakening and integration of these soul levels. We begin with Nefesh consciousness, gradually awakening higher levels through spiritual practice and life experience. Each level awakened brings new challenges and opportunities for growth. Yet this journey is not simply linear. Each moment contains the potential for experiencing all levels simultaneously. A simple act of kindness can unite Nefesh's physical action with Ruach's emotional intelligence, Neshama's divine wisdom, Chaya's universal love, and Yechida's ultimate unity. The process of tikkun, soul correction, involves healing and integrating all these levels. Each challenge we face is an opportunity to align our different soul aspects, to bring our entire being into harmony with divine will. This is not about perfection, but about integration and authenticity. Through this understanding, we begin to see our life circumstances differently. Challenges become opportunities for soul growth, relationships become contexts for soul development, and every moment becomes a chance to align more deeply with our divine essence. The ultimate purpose of this journey is not escape from physical existence, but its transformation. We are here to bring divine light into every aspect of creation, to reveal the hidden unity within apparent diversity. This is the deeper meaning of being human, to be conscious bridges between heaven and earth. Time and space are not mere containers of experience, but living dimensions of divine revelation. In Kabbalistic understanding, both time and space are sacred textures through which the infinite expresses itself in the finite world. Each moment, each place, carries its own unique spiritual potential. Shabbat stands as the crown of time, a dimension where eternity touches the temporal. As the sun sets on Friday evening, the entire creation shifts into a higher state of consciousness. This is not merely a cessation of work, but an elevation of being. On Shabbat, we taste the world as it was meant to be, experiencing a foretaste of the messianic consciousness. The yearly cycle of festivals creates a spiral of spiritual opportunity. Each holiday is not merely a commemoration, but a living portal, allowing access to particular divine energies. Pesach brings the energy of freedom, Shavuot the potential for divine revelation, Sukkot the embrace of divine protection. These are not past events but eternal moments, continuously accessible through sacred time. The daily cycle itself follows a profound spiritual rhythm. Dawn is a time of renewal, when divine mercy flows most strongly. Midnight carries the energy of divine judgment and self-examination. Each hour has its particular spiritual quality, its unique combination of divine names and energies. In the realm of sacred space, the concept of the temple remains eternally relevant. Though the physical temple no longer stands, its spiritual architecture exists on all levels of reality. Through meditation and prayer, we can access these temple states of consciousness, aligning ourselves with its divine patterns. The four directions each carry specific spiritual qualities. East represents mercy and beginning, west judgment and ending, south the illumination of wisdom, north the challenge of concealment. In our prayers and meditations, we work with these directional energies, creating balance and harmony in our spiritual practice. Jerusalem, the holy city, exists not just on earth but in all worlds. The earthly Jerusalem mirrors its heavenly counterpart, creating a vertical axis that connects all levels of reality. When we direct our hearts toward Jerusalem in prayer, we align ourselves with this cosmic axis. The human body itself is a temple in miniature. Each limb corresponds to a spiritual power, each organ to a divine attribute. Through conscious movement and focused intention, we can activate these correspondences, transforming our physical form into a vessel for divine light. Sacred space is not limited to traditional holy sites. Any location can become a sanctuary through conscious presence and proper intention. Our homes, our workplaces, even our daily paths can be transformed into channels for divine energy through mindful awareness and proper practice. The ultimate purpose of working with sacred time and space is to reveal their essential unity. The highest states of consciousness, we perceive that all time is contained in each moment, all space in each point. This is not merely a philosophical concept, but a direct experience available through deep spiritual practice. The deepest teachings of Kabbalah are not meant to remain as intellectual concepts, but to become living realities within our consciousness. This transformation requires more than study. It demands a complete reorientation of our being, a fundamental shift in how we perceive and interact with reality. Every morning begins with a conscious rebirth. As we open our eyes, we remember that creation is renewed each moment. The first words we speak, Modeh Ani, acknowledge this renewal and our gratitude for it. This is not mere ritual, but a daily opportunity to realign our consciousness with divine truth. Throughout the day, we practice the art of continuous remembrance. Each breath becomes a reminder of divine presence, each action an opportunity for sacred service. We learn to see through the illusion of separation, recognizing the divine light that animates all things. In our interactions with others, we practice seeing beyond appearances. Every person we encounter is a unique expression of divine light, regardless of their outer presentation. This recognition transforms ordinary encounters into opportunities for divine service and mutual elevation. The challenges we face become our greatest teachers. When difficulties arise, we learn to ask not, "Why is this happening to me?" but "What is this coming to teach me?" Each obstacle is seen as a precisely crafted opportunity for growth, each challenge a chance to reveal hidden light. Our emotional life becomes a field of spiritual practice. Instead of being swept away by feelings, we learn to witness them with awareness. Anger becomes an opportunity to practice restraint, desire an opportunity to practice discrimination, fear an opportunity to deepen faith. The practice of study itself transforms. When we approach sacred texts, we're not merely acquiring information, but allowing the words to work on our consciousness. Each teaching becomes a meditation, each concept a key to unlocking deeper levels of awareness. In our daily work, we practice seeing the sacred within the mundane. Whether we're engaged in business, art, education, or any other field, we learn to recognize each activity as an opportunity to reveal divine light in the world. There is no separation between spiritual and material pursuits. The practice of prayer evolves from recitation to intimate dialogue. We learn to speak to the divine as one would speak to their closest friend, sharing our deepest thoughts and feelings while remaining open to guidance and response. Prayer becomes a state of continuous communion rather than an occasional activity. In relationships, we practice the art of sacred connection. Each relationship becomes a mirror reflecting aspects of ourselves that need healing and integration. Through conscious relationship, we learn to give and receive love more purely, to see the divine in the human, to transform ordinary connections into channels for spiritual growth. Dreams become another field of practice. We learn to approach sleep consciously, setting intentions for our dream work and remaining aware of the teachings that come through this channel. The boundary between waking and dreaming becomes more fluid as we recognize all experience as various levels of divine revelation. At the heart of all Kabbalistic practice lies a singular truth. The ultimate purpose of spiritual work is not personal enlightenment, but universal transformation. As we advance on the path, our individual journey merges with the cosmic purpose of creation itself. Everything exists in perfect unity. What appears as separation is merely the play of divine light through different vessels. As our consciousness expands, we begin to perceive this unity directly. The boundaries between self and other, between spiritual and material, between divine and human, reveal themselves as aspects of a single, infinite reality. Service becomes spontaneous expression rather than calculated action. We no longer need to think about doing good. Goodness flows naturally from our awakened state. Every action becomes an expression of divine will, every moment an opportunity to reveal more light in the world. The practice of presence deepens beyond personal effort. We discover that we are not the ones maintaining awareness. Awareness itself is our true nature. What once required conscious effort becomes effortless being. We are not doing the practice is doing us. In this state, every experience becomes a teaching. Joy and sorrow, success and failure, pleasure and pain, all are recognized as expressions of divine wisdom. We no longer seek to avoid certain experiences and grasp others. Each moment is accepted as perfect in its own way. The distinction between meditation and daily life dissolves. Every activity becomes meditation, every interaction a form of prayer. Whether we are engaged in business, art, relationships, or solitary contemplation, all is recognized as divine service. Love expands beyond personal attachment. We begin to experience the kind of love that motivated creation itself, a love that gives without need for return, that embraces all without condition. This love becomes the foundation of all our actions, the lens through which we perceive all reality. Knowledge transforms into direct perception. We no longer need to remember teachings about unity. We see it directly. The theoretical understanding of divine omnipresence becomes lived experience. Every atom of creation reveals itself as a perfect expression of divine wisdom. Yet with this expansion comes deeper humility. The more we understand, the more we recognize how much lies beyond our comprehension. Each revelation opens doors to greater mysteries. We become comfortable with paradox, at peace with the unknowable. Time itself is experienced differently. Past, present, and future are recognized as simultaneous aspects of eternal now. Every moment contains all moments. Every point contains all space. We act in time while residing in the timeless. Our individual story merges with the cosmic story. Personal destiny and universal purpose become one. We recognize that our unique path, with all its apparent detours and difficulties, has been perfectly designed to serve the greater unfoldment of divine purpose. This is not the end of the journey, but its true beginning. From this state of unity consciousness, we engage more fully in the work of Tikkun Olam, the repair and elevation of all worlds. Our every breath becomes a prayer, our every act a blessing, our very existence a song of praise to the Infinite One. In this final contemplation, we recognize that the wisdom of Kabbalah is not meant to remain sealed within ancient texts or confined to individual practice. It is a living tradition, a flame that must be passed from generation to generation, continuously renewed and made relevant for each age. The deepest mysteries are revealed not through words alone, but through the living example of transformed consciousness. As we embody these teachings, we become living testimonies to their truth. Our very presence becomes a teaching, our actions a demonstration of divine possibility. Each generation faces unique challenges and opportunities. The eternal wisdom must be translated into forms that speak to contemporary understanding while preserving its essential truth. We are not merely preservers of tradition, but participants in its ongoing revelation. The work of transformation is never complete. Even as we reach deeper levels of understanding, new horizons of possibility reveal themselves. Each achievement becomes a platform for further growth, each realization a doorway to greater mysteries. In our time, the ancient boundaries between traditions are dissolving. The wisdom of Kabbalah enters into dialogue with other spiritual paths, scientific discoveries, and evolving human consciousness. Yet its essential truth remains unchanged, the reality of divine unity underlying all existence. Technology and global communication create new opportunities for spreading light, yet they also present challenges to genuine spiritual development. Our task is to use these tools wisely, ensuring they serve the purpose of elevation rather than distraction. The environmental crisis calls us to deeper understanding of our role as stewards of creation. Kabbalistic wisdom about the interconnection of all beings becomes increasingly relevant as we face the consequences of perceived separation from nature. Social transformation becomes an essential aspect of spiritual work. We recognize that individual enlightenment must express itself in the creation of more just and harmonious human societies. The vertical connection to divine reality must manifest in horizontal connections between beings. The healing of personal and collective trauma emerges as a crucial focus. Ancient wisdom about the nature of the soul provides guidance for addressing the deep wounds carried by individuals and communities in our time. Future generations will face challenges we cannot yet imagine. Our responsibility is to transmit not just the teachings but the living experience of divine reality that will enable them to meet these challenges with wisdom and grace. The promise of messianic consciousness takes on new meaning in our era. We understand it not as a future event, but as a state of awareness available in every moment, gradually manifesting through our collective spiritual evolution. As we close this exploration, we recognize that every ending is also a beginning. The spiral of spiritual development continues, each turn revealing new depths of understanding, new opportunities for service, new expressions of eternal truth. In the deepest wisdom of Kabbalah, we understand that there is no true ending, only transformation. As we complete this journey of exploration, we find ourselves not at a conclusion, but at a new beginning. The circle closes only to open again, like the eternal breath of creation itself. All that we have learned, all that we have experienced, now seeks expression through our being. The theoretical becomes practical, the abstract becomes concrete, the distant becomes intimate. We stand at the threshold between knowledge and embodiment, between understanding and becoming. Remember that the first step and the last step are the same, the recognition of divine presence in every moment. Whether we are beginning students or advanced practitioners, we return always to this fundamental truth: Ein od milvado, there is nothing but the divine. The mysteries we have explored are not meant to remain mysteries. They are seeds planted in the soil of consciousness, destined to bloom into direct experience. Each teaching is an invitation to deeper revelation, each practice a door to expanded awareness. Our individual paths, unique as they may be, merge with the great river of tradition. We become links in an unbroken chain stretching from ancient wisdom to future revelation. Our task is not to merely preserve this wisdom, but to live it so fully that it naturally flows to future generations. The challenges of our time are not obstacles to spiritual development, but opportunities for its expression. In facing the complexities of modern life, we demonstrate the eternal relevance of divine wisdom. Through our engagement with these challenges, the teaching remains alive and vital. The separation between sacred and mundane dissolves in the light of true understanding. Every moment becomes an opportunity for divine service. Every interaction, a chance for revealing hidden light. The marketplace becomes as holy as the meditation hall, the family dinner as sacred as the ritual feast. We recognize that our work is both personal and universal. As we transform our own consciousness, we contribute to the transformation of collective awareness. Each individual realization adds to the growing light of human understanding. The promise of Kabbalah is not escape from reality, but its complete transformation. We work toward a time when divine consciousness will be the natural state of all beings, when the light that is always present will be clearly perceived by all. Until that time, we continue our practice moment by moment, breath by breath. Each day is a new opportunity to deepen our understanding, to expand our capacity for love, to reveal more light in the world, and so we end where we began, in recognition of the infinite light that animates all existence. Yet we return to this beginning point transformed, carrying within us the seeds of future awakening, ready to begin the eternal dance once again. For in the endless circle of divine revelation, every ending is a beginning, and every beginning contains within it the promise of complete fulfillment. Ein Sof, without end.